welcome to the final night of the Games, live from here, Crystal Palace. At the end of tonight's show, we will find out which of our superstar athletes will be taking home the Games trophy.
Oh, it's loud, yes. After 4 nights of intense competition, everything comes down to this, the live final.
So exciting. They are so excited. We have seen some truly epic battles this week on the track, in the pool, and last night we had some thrills and spills at the Velodrome. This is the final night of the Games. They look very ready for the final, as do the crowd, which includes Daley Thompson and Jermaine. Now, in last night's men's speed climbing heat, as we found out on social media last night. Sorry, guys. It might explain a little bit why the dirty pacer wasn't too impressed with the whole thing. A little shake of the head.
I feel bad now. Now, that caused a little bit of friction after the event. Kicking off, so to settle this Derny Barney, we've spoken to the officials and they said, because the Derny was back in front after half a lap, there was no advantage gained by either of the cyclists. And there were still enough laps to allow the race to play out. Anyway, we should get our officials to sort out the Rooney Vardy case. What do you reckon?
Have it sorted in no time. Who knew that cycling could be so dramatic? Kind of love it, actually, but it...
If Josh isn't still going around the velodrome, has he finished?
Stop, Josh. Up next, it's the first event of the night, the women's speed climbing. Let's remind ourselves of how the leaderboard was looking last night.
Who came out on top when they faced the Games wall? Let's see how they got on in training.
Final night of the Games, live from Crystal Palace. Still to come, we'll be closing the Games with the men and women taking on the iconic 100 metres. Plus, we've got all the action from the women's weightlifting. Do you know what? I couldn't do that, Freddie.
I don't know. You've been doing all the heavy lifting on this show all week.
I'm exhausted.
Oh, they're even laughing. Jeez.
Next up tonight, it's the live women's speed climbing final. Let's head over to Chris Kamara and Simon Brotherton.
Thanks.
Wanted that so much, didn't she?
She was amazing, she really was, and Cammy summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Awkward at times, but does the job. Final. Alex is with Josh and Wes now as they make the final preparations. Boom.
All of us thought that that was going to be, that Wes was just going to go up there like Spider-Man. That was closer than we thought.
Training. Taking nothing away from Wes, the coach does work in IT during the week.
Don't ruin it!
No, he does a bit of climbing on the weekend. Anyway, so let's see what that climbing result has done to the men's leaderboard.
Heart. We love Coulson. Our next event is the women's weightlifting. Let's see how they got on in training. Well, it's victorious again, and welcome back to Crystal Palace Stadium. We are live for the final night of the Games, where in just a few moments we'll see how the women got on in the weightlifting.
But joining us now, we've got former England footballer Jermaine royalty. It's Daley Thompson.
What's that? Keep going in the events. How hard is it when you do so many events, one after the other, to keep that?
Who says you wish you were still doing it?
No.
Hey, that's...
Jermaine, what about you? Because
Anybody that you played with in a dressing room, Ryan? It's not a one-show, Jermaine.
We said we weren't going to do this.
as well, though, for the girls.
Going into the 100 metres tonight, give advice for the runners.
No. It is time now for the women's weightlifting. This is brilliant. Let's go back to our commentators, Chris and Simon. Rebecca, that was amazing. That came out of nowhere. She wanted to get that straight arms and gone for it there. Daley, the thing about her...
No, listen,
What about you, Jermaine? Do you fancy your chances at weightlifting?
For Rebecca, because going into the 100 metres, you know, she's there.
what?
Right, we're near the end of the competition now, and it has been a huge week for all the women. Their final event will be the 100 metres. Alex, how are you getting on down there? Haven't the girls done absolutely brilliantly this week? Let's give a big round of applause to the ladies.
Well, it's just changed.
For when it comes to sport.
Very. Jermaine, we'll see you later when you'll be handing out the medals.
Well, we've just heard that the medals have been delivered on a familiar mode of transport. I'm so excited. There it is now.
Oh.
Go on to the prayer. I liked it. We've got the women's 100 metres. This will decide the final result of the women's competition. You won't want to miss it.
And then
Welcome back to the Games live final. Earlier tonight, Phoenix won the women's speed climbing final with Rebecca taking first place in the weightlifting.
And Wes won the medal speed climbing, which meant he stayed top of the leaderboard.
What a night it's been so far, and it is not over yet. There are only 2 events to go, and we have saved the best till last. Both the men and women will be channeling their inner bolts in the 100 metres.
At the end of these 2 races, we'll have our 2 gold medalists, and we'll be crowning our ultimate champion of the Games 2022.
I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Over to you, Chris and Simon. That means that Chelsea is the gold medalist. It's the final race of the week, and it all comes down to this. Don't go away. What a moment for winner of the Games 2022.
Even when I saw him in training, he was the one who was focused. He's such a good athlete. He's won so many events. He is a deserved winner. But let's not forget everyone else. Everyone has competed. Everyone has had some success. But my favourite, is Coulson. He couldn't swim 5 weeks ago.
I know.
What about you, Holly? What's your favourite?
Do you know what? I'm made up for Chelsea.